What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another video for you. All right, live life number 10, how to stop living to please someone else. All right, how to stop living to please someone else. Live life number 10. Shout out to all of my veterans. All right, I am partial to my veteran brethren. Shout out to all of you that are doing your thing here in the States and across the seas. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I make myself available every night between the hours of 12 and 2 a.m. in the morning. So feel free to reach out to me via comment or reach out to me inbox. And if you are on the fence about suicide and you are in danger of hurting yourself and someone else, you need to call 911 immediately. So go to your phone and dial 911 immediately. All right. If you do not know the contact number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that is 1-800-273-8255. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. All right, aka hotline. All right. So, I had a Army buddy of mine. He committed suicide, and you know, it was a very devastating moment for us, for me, as well as those of us that knew him. Really cool guy, and like I said, I'll be sharing that story probably later on in the series. But I shared an amazing story yesterday, so make sure you go to the video. Live life number 10. I'm sorry, live life number 9. Listen to that video. If you want to catch up on the videos, go to Marcus J. Jackson on YouTube. That is my YouTube channel. Subscribe, and you can look at all the videos that are on there, as well as some other videos about business, fitness, and nutrition, things of that nature. So if you're interested in any of that, Marcus J. Jackson is my YouTube channel. For those of you that want to donate, donations are much appreciated. I don't have a platform for donations myself, but I do donate my time and money to I Speak Foxy. It's an organization that focuses on healing those who have experienced sexual assault and violence, and that are healing from sexual assault and violence. She gives clothes, she gives talks and lectures, she gives free classes, and she does a lot of this on her own dime, and a lot of the material she pays for out of her own pocket. So that's, I would donate that. That's somewhere where I would donate, and I recommend you donate to I Speak Foxy. All right, and I put the Cash App in the description. So if you feel led, as they say, to donate, please do. So today we're going to go into some things to how to stop. All right, how to stop living for someone else and start living for yourself. Right, start doing things that satisfy you. Start doing things that serve you, and push away those things that do not serve you. Start detaching from those things and creating better habits, right? That'll get you the things that you want, to help you do the things that you want to do. And I will cover those 3 things here after we get a little bit into the video. So let's get grounded real quick. All right. All right, everybody, take a deep breath. Relax. judgment-free zone. Take a deep breath. Blow it out. Last one. Wrap your feet. Stretch your feet down to the core of the earth. Wrap your feet around it. And stay nice and grounded. Right? See the white light shining through the top of your head and throughout the body for all the purifying energy that's running through it. All right, and take that in, breathe that in, and blow it out one last time. All right. So, a lot of times we are in a constant state of trying to impress people that we don't even like. We're trying to impress people that mean absolutely nothing to us. Okay, we get this gratification, this instant gratification from people. Looking at us or paying attention to us or getting likes or getting followers or getting subscribers and so on and so forth. And that becomes our full-time job. The average person, I was reading an article, the average person spends 8 to 10 hours a day on social media. 8 to 10 hours a day on social media. I was like, are you kidding me? Is this a joke? And I'm like, where are they getting these stats from? But, if you think about it, if you calculate all the time that you stop and take a break, 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 45 minutes here, hour here, 15 here, 30 minutes here, hour here, another hour when you wake up in the morning before you get started, another hour before you go to bed, right? That's a lot of hours. I don't know that it necessarily adds up to 6 to 10 hours, but hey, I guess, I don't know. What is the average person doing, right? Is the average person just sitting at home, chilling, all day long on social media? But I guess it's not only Facebook. I'm guessing they add everything else in there, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even though you may not be active or, you're not actively typing something, like you're reading something, you're scrolling, I guess they count all of that stuff. And, that's how they got the number, 6 to 10 hours a day. But that is a lot. That's a very, very long time. And, yeah, it's just a lot. So, how to stop living to please someone else, right? A lot of times we don't even know that this is happening, right? You have no idea, or when you tell someone, hey, you need to stop living for other people, you got to live for yourself, their immediate response is, I live for myself. What do you mean? I don't live for other people. I don't care about what other people think. But you're constantly looking at the phone, or you're constantly looking at the phone to see if you got, likes and all this kind of stuff, and to see how much attention you got, right? But you don't care about what people think. Okay? You know what I mean? So it's and you really do. All right? So you got to stop playing yourself. So I would like for you to remember that when you're living for someone else, right, it causes you stress, it causes you depression, it causes you anxiety. And that is the depression, anxiety that goes unchecked becomes dis-ease, right? It becomes dis-ease in the body. And we want a dis-ease free body, right? We want a dis-ease-free life, okay? Because stress produces cortisol, and cortisol produces that layer of fat. That's why you have the little muffin top or the little spare tire down there. You don't want that, okay? So that stress, that added stress, is not something that we want to deal with on a regular basis. We want to be able to not completely block the stress, but deal with the stress, process it, and move on from it. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And when you do that, it's almost like it's no wonder people are ready to check out. People are ready to transition themselves because they don't want to be here. Because they already feel like subconsciously they feel like they're living for somebody else, or they're living to please other people, and they're not getting enough attention. And it almost seems like, well, that's counterintuitive, but it is, right? But it isn't. Because you are continuously trying to impress someone who, once again, who does not care anything about you, right? And they really don't mean anything to you per se. But it's important for you to have the best, the best shoes, or the best clothes, or the best looking outfit, or the best looking purse, or the best looking car, or the best looking house. Constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses keeps you in a state of confusion, because you never you start disconnecting from yourself, trying to do things and be something that you're not. All right. So life will get a little easier, right? When you stop doing things because you want to you want to place value on what somebody else thinks, right? That's not why. Why do you want to place value on what somebody else thinks when your opinion of yourself is the most important? Unless you're dealing with some insecurity, right? And ultimately, that's what it is. But if nobody ever brings this to your attention, then you never know. And you have people that transition themselves because they didn't get the attention that they were looking for, and they were unable to come back to themselves. They were unable to come back and experience life in the present. They're depressed because of the things that happened in the past, and they're anxious, and they suffer from anxiety because of the fear of what's going to happen in the future, right? And being present is no longer, you lose presence when your life is patterned by impressing other people. Okay, get me some water. Let me go to the comments. Okay. Good morning, Vic. Good morning, Lulu. How is everybody this morning? Good to see you. Good to see you. Drink me some water right quick. Keep in mind, this is a very, very informal platform. All right. And feel free to comment. Feel free to inbox me. You can also email me at marcusjjackson@hotmail.com. Right? If you want to email, that is available. If you want to talk after I get off of the live video, I will be available until 2 o'clock. If you want to talk, I will talk to you as long as I possibly can. Okay? Until I fall asleep, or till you fall asleep. Either way, I'll be here to listen to you. I will give you a judgment-free ear, right? And I will give you judgment-free feedback, okay? And my contact number is 469-626-7486. If I do not answer In between that time, I'm probably on the phone with someone, and please leave me a message or text me. I will call you back. Okay, I will call you back, and you are feel free to use that number anytime. And keep in mind that if it's during the day, I am a realtor. I'm also a life coach, and if I don't answer the phone, I'm probably on the phone with someone. So please leave me a message. You know, that's a 24/7 number. You can call it anytime. You can text it anytime. And if I'm, like I said, if I don't answer, I will call you back. All right. Okay. So, you know, life, like I said, life gets a little easier. You know, when you stop valuing other people's opinion more than your own, right? It just gets a little easier. You know, life also gets a little easier when you stop when you just stop doing shit to impress people in general. You know, when you don't have, especially when you don't have the means to do this, right? It's a never-ending story, or when people are dealing with financial issues and they're still trying to maintain this quote-unquote lifestyle, right? And you know they're going through hard times. You know they're experiencing the worst of the worst, right? And in dealing in my field of creativity, you know, life coaching and, you know, relationship coaching, you know, you deal with people at the greatest point in their lives, and you deal with people at the lowest point, you know, of their life. And it's like amazing how the people that have the most money are the ones who have the hardest times, you know, putting these concepts or acting on these concepts once they begin to learn about them. And the more they learn about themselves, the harder it becomes to separate, you know, that attitude from the money. And it's like they become different. You know, they've lost their, somewhere along that process, they've lost their way, and they haven't, you know, they've disconnected of who they used to be. So they're this completely different person, you know, now that the money is here. But in essence, they've just become more of who they were because of the money, right? So it's I don't know, it's funny because the $1 million guys are they're fucking miserable, right? They're miserable. But, you know, the $40,000 a year guys are, you know, they're happy, they're excited, they're, you know, they're living life. You know, they're living life. And I mean, it's just weird. It's just weird to experience that firsthand, because I know some guys that have millions and they are miserable. You know, they're depressed. You know, anxiety is a big part. I mean, I'm talking like manic depression and panic attacks and the whole nine. And, you know, looking at these guys, you would think like, wow, you know, they got it together. But below the surface, behind the scenes, they're taking medication, you know, all kinds of therapy, and they're seeing therapists, and they've seen therapist after therapist after therapist after therapist, and, you know, nobody ever takes the time to actually sit with them and deal with them on issues, and get a unjudgmental, unbiased, I don't know. You're just gonna get with me, you're gonna get the raw truth. You know, and I'm known for calling it like I see it. You know, and like I said, not that my way is always the perfect way, but sometimes people just need someone to be real with them. You know, you need someone to kind of bring you back to reality, so you can snap out of the fantasy, you know, that you're in. I don't know. Life gets a little easier, right, when you start valuing your own opinion, you know, versus somebody else's. we a lot of us also, we get caught up in trying to, one of the biggest things that you can do to stop living to please someone else is trying to stop. It's stopping getting somebody back. Like you want to, or you want to prove them wrong, right? Having that what they call it, the vengeful spirit, right? You got to get them back. You know, you got to prove them wrong, and you do things that you know you can't afford to do, or you do things that are beyond your abilities to do, just to prove somebody wrong, and you end up failing, or you end up, you know, it ends up not working out. You know, and the only reason you started doing these things is because you wanted to prove somebody wrong, you know, or you wanted to get somebody back, you know. So it's a, I don't know, it's just not something that is fruitful for the long term. It may provide a temporary fix for this instant gratification world we live in, but it's not the truth, guys. You know, it's not the truth, and it doesn't serve you in the long run. Okay. You know, life gets a little easier, right? It gets a little easier. The moment we begin to go on the inside of us to figure out what's going on, right? The closer we are to becoming the greatest versions of ourselves, right? Life gets a little easier when we learn to go inside. You know, the more time we spend inside of here, right, the closer we are to becoming the greatest version of ourselves, to becoming the strongest version of ourselves. Okay? Let me check the chat real quick. Okay. Awesome. Set up my... Okay. If you are just tuning in and you are just you know, you caught this video and you know, you need, you know, you want to know what it's about. What I do every night at 12 a.m. I hop on and I stay on till about 1 o'clock, and I make myself available to, you know, anybody who is thinking about transition themselves and they feel like that is the you know, suicide is the only other alternative, the only other option. I'm here to tell you that there are other options. There are ways and methods in which you can heal, right? You just have to be open enough. You have to be in a place where you can accept the help, okay? If you need immediate assistance because you are in danger if you are a danger to yourself and others, all right, you need to call 911 to get you some help as soon as possible. If you need someone to talk to, you can reach out to National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. All right. Again, that's 800-273-8255. All right. If you want to talk to me, you can reach me at 469-626-7486. All right. And I will, if I do not pick up the phone, please leave me a message. I will call you back. All right. I will talk to you as long as I possibly can, you know, or until I fall asleep. Okay. Or until you fall asleep. All right. Hopefully you fall asleep and you wake up the next morning and you are still with us. Therefore, my goal would be accomplished. All right. Let me see. All right. Okay. What's going on, Douglas? Good to see you this morning. All right, it's how it was judged by others. Shift into direction. A lot of times we try to rationalize why it's important for somebody else to give their opinion or get the opinion of somebody else, right? You know, you always want to know what they think about this, or, you know, how does this look, and am I fat, or does this make me look skinny, or is this too big, or is this too little, or am I too fat, or am I too little, and all those. Nothing's wrong with that per se, but it's when you ask for the judgment, or you're given the quote unquote judgment, and it is difficult to deal with, and you start to lean on those insecurities that you have, as opposed to getting help, right? As opposed to talking to someone and reaching out to saying, hey, you know, this is something that I'm dealing with, right? Somebody you trust, of course. You know, remember what we talked about last night. You know, this is something I'm dealing with, you know, and I feel this way about it. Now, when you can no longer get the satisfaction of having the opinion of someone else, or the judgment of someone else, it becomes, you feel as though you no longer have their attention, and you become depressed and anxious, and so on and so forth. And there's a whole slew of mental instabilities that come along with that. All right. So by coming back to self, right, understanding self, getting the knowledge of self, right, getting closer to who you are, that becomes the direction. We start to move in a more positive direction when we do that, as opposed to the latter. Okay. Life just gets a little easier, all right, when you begin to build from a standpoint of, you know, I know that I need help. I am conscious enough to realize that I do need to heal, or that something is out of balance. Not necessarily that something is wrong, right? And remember, we got to get away from the thought process of, you know, because I'm having, you know, these thoughts of suicide, nobody else is having these thoughts. Or because I'm having these suicidal tendencies, there's something wrong with me. Or I have to identify with some kind of mental illness or mental instability in order, you know, in order to cope or to deal, right? So I'm having these suicidal tendencies, and it's not a, you know, and there's no way out, right? You know, and I'm just here to tell you that it's different. There is something different. There is an alternative. There isn't, you know, your back is not against the wall just yet. You know, keep in mind that your situation is temporary, right? It is temporary, and it can be, you know, you can get through this, all right? There is a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? So by no means are you going through any of this for no reason at all. There's a purpose, you know, that you begin to watch this video today, and 28 minutes in, you know, you're still watching. So you know, clearly there's some kind of divine intervention going on with that. All right. So let's go into how. Like, what do we actually do? You know, Marcus, you said all these things about you know, how to stop living to please someone else, and, you know, how to stop living for other people, and, you know, don't care what people think, and so on and so forth. You know, give us something practical to do. How do we actually do that? Okay. So I'm about to tell you. All right. Number one. All right, and I know this is a very difficult thing to do because a lot of things happen off of this platform. This platform that we're on, people run businesses off of, right? So I totally get that. You know, I totally understand. But you have to disconnect from social media, right? Number one. All right, number one, how to stop living to please someone else. All right, you have to disconnect from social media. Not forever. Okay, I'm not saying don't ever get back on Facebook, don't ever get back on Twitter, Instagram, and all the other ones. Okay, I'm not saying that. But you have to disconnect and almost detox from social media, because it is really that serious. Social media addiction is actually a diagnosis in some foreign countries. I want to say Japan or China actually diagnose people with it's like a chronic disorder. I believe it's one of the chronic disorders that they diagnose their people with, because they cannot stay off of social media, right? And I get it. You get instant attention, right? The minute somebody likes your video, you get excited, or they like your picture, and you check it out and you're like, oh wow, I got 1,000 likes, or I got 1,000 hearts, or I got 1,000 views, or I went viral. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but the imbalance comes when that doesn't happen. When you don't get the views, then you immediately, what's wrong with my picture? Well, why do you think they don't like my picture? Or why do you think they don't like my video? I know, because I used to do that. I used to be like, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was like, man, these people ain't looking at none of my videos. I can't believe this. This is crazy. Then I was like, well, it's no big deal. And I began to just do the videos just to do them. Don't care about the likes. But, I almost got sucked into that, where, I was going to stop doing videos because nobody was watching them. Then I look at it, and there's some months later, and I got a couple of videos that's got over 4,000 views on it. And I'm like, oh, wow. That's because I just detached from it, stopped checking it, stopped looking at it, and, just didn't pay any attention to it. I'm just like, all right, now I'm paying attention to it, and I was like, you know what? I need to jump back on my YouTube videos and start getting my content, putting my stuff out. So it became it kind of lit a fire under my ass and was like, hey, get back on it, get back to it. So that's what I mean by detaching from social media. All right, you got to disconnect from social media. Give it a day. Start out with a day, and start out with a couple days, and just not being connected to the outcome of the post or the outcome of the video, because ultimately that's not what you're posting a video for attention, but you made the content for a reason. Either you were trying to accomplish something by making the content, right? Just like what I'm trying to accomplish by making this video is to, one, expand the consciousness of the people and awareness about suicide, right? And at the same time, put a little bit of mindfulness in there, with a little meditation, some breathing techniques, and so on and so forth, right? That's my goal, is, and to try to reach as many people as possible. My goal isn't to get 1,000 likes. My goal is to get, 1 million likes. People, as many people can see this as possible. But in the back of my mind, I already know and realize that the only people that are going to see this video are the people that's supposed to see it, right? It's not for everybody. Everybody's not dealing with suicide, or whatever subject I'm talking about on any of my other videos, right? Not everybody's dealing with that. So no, it's not for every single person. It's not for 1 million people to view, and if it is, fine, that's cool. But my focus, my concentration, and my will isn't shifted into that direction, right? My will, my focus, and my desire is to reach as many people as possible, and hopefully if they're teeter-tottering about staying with us on this side, I want them to stay, right? That's my thing. All right, you got to find your thing. Okay, don't be attached to the outcome. All right, how to stop living to please someone else. All right, just stay. Focus on the content. Focus on making an awesome picture or making an awesome video, right? Just let that be the focus, as opposed to, concentrating on how many likes you're going to get, and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's number one, disconnecting from social media. All right. Number two. Okay. Number two. It's going to sound strange. I know it's going to sound strange, but read a book. All right. Read a book. Just let that sink in for a minute. Right? Let that sink in for a bit. Read a book. All right? Do some reading. Okay? Reading, reading is just like writing. It gets down into your, your subconscious. And, when you read silently, right? It's weird because you think, I ask myself, I'm like, who's really doing that reading, right? I'm not speaking out loud, right? I'm not speaking out loud, but inside, I'm saying the words as I read them, right? So I'm speaking, but I'm not moving my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if, you guys are into, I don't know if that intrigues anybody else like that intrigues me. Because I just like, I like getting deep into things, right? So if you're reading silently and you're pronouncing the words in your head, right? And you are not saying them out loud, who is that? Who is that doing the reading, right? Because your mouth's not moving, so whose mouth is moving, right? So that's the essence of you, right? That's the essence of you reading, right? That's how you want a picture of the inner subconscious or the inner you. You reading a book is a picture of you connecting with your subconscious and reaching down into the inner you, right? Knowing thyself, okay? Reading. That is where that's where you get knowledge. Books is where you get knowledge from. Books is where you can go into a meditative state and get involved in the book and imagine being in the places that the book talks about. Imagine if you were the character in the book and doing things that the character does in the book and so on and so forth. See the atmosphere and everything that's going around the character in the book. Like you can really disconnect from this world by reading, right? There's a great deal of things that are in books that you're not going to find anywhere else. You can't go to any lecture. You can't go to any church message. You're not going to go to any therapist or coach or psychic or anything like that, because you are actually reading the book and actually getting the information for yourself, right? And here is why this is important. The more time you can spend, right? Remember what I said earlier? The more time you can spend in here, right? The better you begin to shift into a positive direction, right? With your thought process. And if transitioning yourself is, you're on the fence about transitioning yourself, you want to shift into a positive thought process as soon as possible, right? And here is why. And you may ask, well, Marcus, why do you consider transitioning yourself a negative thing, right? When you transition yourself, you are, I feel like, it's my opinion, you are negating yourself. You are going against a contract that you'd already signed, right? It's just like a foreclosure or you breaking a lease, right? You signed a contract in order to incarnate in the body. You came down here to experience life in the body, right? Why do you want to transition yourself? All right? And ultimately, I get it. Ultimately, if that's your will, if that's what you signed up here to do, fine. I'm talking about the people who are on the fence about it, okay? The people who are on the fence about it don't know or have attempted it before, and, they're thinking about possibly doing it again, and they feel like suicide is the only alternative and the only option. I'm here to tell you that is not true, okay? And reading can save your life. And I will be the first to tell you, reading and meditating, it saved not only saved my life, it saved my marriage. It helped me. It improved my relationship with my children. Reading and meditating, right? It is. I cannot stress to you how important that is, in reading. But that's the thing. That's number 2. Read a book, all right? Pick a subject that you like, or a subject that you're interested in, and read, all right? Read that book. We do book reviews once a month. My wife and I have book reviews on a book, and I think the last book we read was, I know the last book we read was The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Medina. Ogmandino, Og Medina. And it's an excellent book. Excellent book. If you are looking for another book to read, I would, even though you're not a salesman, it has some of the best information you could ever get on dealing with yourself and becoming the strongest version of yourself, okay? That is what I would recommend, all right? That's one of the books that I recommend. And another book that I would recommend is Power versus Force by David Hawkins, right? You can YouTube David Hawkins, and he's got like all kind of lectures about about mindfulness, about meditating, about different thought processes, different psychological states of mind. He's an amazing mind. That's what he is, an amazing mind. That's what I'm going to call him. All right. He's a very, very great mind, and I've learned a lot from him. Okay. So, Power versus Force by Dr. Hawkins, Dr. David Hawkins, and Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Medina. 2 books that I would recommend you read. Okay. So, number 3. Okay. You can probably guess what number 3 is, right? So, if you're still on here, can you guess what number 3 is? Somebody guess what number 3 is. Right? What is the number 3 thing that I have listed, right, on how to stop living to please someone else? Okay. I guess nobody's on. Oh, well. So writing, right? Journal. All right. I'm going to say journal. Journaling is where you write your day-to-day, situations. All right. Your day-to-day life. What made you happy today? And write about it. What made you sad today? Write about it. What did you do, to bring you out of this sad state? What did you do while you were in this happy state? Did you come out of the happy state? Did you come out of the sad state? If you don't know what to write, just put the date and put, I don't know what to write. Excuse me. Writing also taps into the subconscious, right? And the subconscious is that intuition. It's the I like to say it's the essence of you. Um, the It's not the connection to the human body per se. Breath is your connection to the human body, but your intuition is your survival mechanism, right? In not so much as a physical, but a spiritual. It's like your spiritual protector, that intuition, right? And you can tap into that by feeding it, by exercising it, by practicing your intuition and building your subconscious abilities by reading and writing. And writing is, to give you an example of how, documentation. One of my clients was saying, hey, I document my information by typing it. And I said, well, it's a different frequency that you're dealing with when you type. And he said, how so? I said, well, what would you like? Would you like your girlfriend to write you a letter saying I love you? Or would you rather for her to type a letter to you saying I love you? Right? There's a difference when somebody's taking the time to actually get a pen, get a piece of paper, and take the time to write. Right? That means something different. That's on a completely different frequency than somebody, going to the computer and typing in, I love you. All right? It's more of a, it's more generic, if you will, because they could be copied. I know some of my some of my female clients, they say, guys, they try to approach them through inbox with this cookie cut, copy paste message that they put in the inbox, right, or in a DM. They direct message them with this cookie cut message that is, that they readily identify with. They know what that is, and they're blocking it. They don't want to see it. They ain't trying to hear it, right? So once again, writing comes from the subconscious. So if you're writing something, if you take the time to write, and that's how you're going to view it. You're going to view a handwritten note. A handwritten note has more power than a documented note. Of course, in the court of law, they'll make a fuss about it. But when you're dealing with, intuition, the emotions, you're dealing with the human mind, the psychological mind, we prefer writing as opposed to typing. Okay? So remember, number one, disconnect from social media. All right? Focus on the content that you're putting out as opposed to the likes and the views that you get. Don't stay connected to the outcome, right? This is how you stop living to please, someone else. All right? You disconnect from social media and spend some time with yourself, right? Disconnect from that energy for a while and work on building your own energy and connecting with your own energy, all right? Number two, read a book, all right? We're also, by doing this, we're not only stopping, we're not stopping the living for someone else, we're also connecting with our subconscious with this, all right? So reading a book is going to be number two, all right? Read a book, any book that you're interested in, any subject that you're interested in, or, if you want to take on a new subject or a language or something like that, just read a book. That time to yourself, that time you spend reading the book, silently, looking at the words and, saying the words out loud. Out loud in your mind, right? Not necessarily moving the lips, but inside, using your inside voice, as they tell the children, right? That's where you're going to tap into the subconscious, and you can, start to image yourself in the book, taking on the characteristics, the daily life of the character in the Bible, or just connecting with the story in the, not Bible, in the book, connecting with the story in the book and so on and so forth, okay? If you want to read the Bible, that's fine too. You know, hey, there's a lot of great and wonderful stories in there, a lot of amazing characters in the Bible. It's excellent book to read. That also will, because the Bible is allegorical, that's also going to be subconscious thoughts and, you know, dealing with the subconscious and helping you connect with your intuition, okay? So, and the last one is writing, right? So writing is very, very therapeutic, all right? I can remember when I started writing, I would get up about an hour earlier and I would write, you know, just kind of write. I would start off by writing my dream down. Whatever I could remember about my dream, I would write it down, right? And then I would write down what I wanted to do today, my goals for the day, and maybe write about what happened yesterday and what I needed to do different, right? Oh man, I need some more water. Anyway, so I started writing about things that I needed to do different, and I created my own, in that journal, I created a own little, instruction manual for myself. I like to call it creating my own Bible, right? So everything about me and everything about my life is in this journal, right? So this is my little composition book, right? One of these right here, they're like 55 cents now at Walmart because, you know, everybody's back in school and everything, and they already got the school supplies, so you can get them on sale for very, very cheap, right? So get you one of these composition books, or you can get you a big spiral, one of those big 5-subject spirals. That's another one that I have, and I write a lot of stuff down in that one too. I think it's in my room, but anyway, it's a thick spiral. It's like a 5-subject spiral, and I use that to write about things. And like I said, it's very therapeutic. It also connects you with your subconscious, right? Which will help you step in the direction of how to stop living to please someone else, right? And start living to please yourself. Okay, and that is all I have, right? That's all I have for today. Okay. Live life number 10. All right. Keep in mind, life gets a little easier when you stop doing shit because you value somebody else's opinion more than your own. All right. Life gets a little easier when you stop doing shit to impress somebody or to prove somebody wrong. All right. Life gets a little easier the moment we learn what's inside of us and stop worrying about being judged by others. Is the moment when we begin to shift in a more positive direction. Okay, it's very, very imperative that we keep that in mind going forward. After this video, I want you to stay focused on the present. Okay, the past is gone. It's over with. We can't get tomorrow back. We can't redo tomorrow, no matter what. Okay. I'm sorry. We can't do. We can't do yesterday. Yesterday is already gone. This day is over with. We're already in the next day. All right. This is technically the next day. It's 12:56 in the morning. All right. So it is 8/22/2018. All right. So whatever happened yesterday is over with. Okay? There's nothing we can do about it. All right? What's going to happen tomorrow hasn't even happened yet. Okay? There's nothing we can do about the future, right? Except wait for it. That's it. The only thing you can do about the future is wait for it. So focus on the now. Be present. All right? Be present so you can get in touch with your subconscious, and your subconscious is going to show you how to stop living to please someone else, okay? And start focusing on living life to please yourself. I am going to let me check the chat real quick, see if anybody's got anything to say. Okay, good, all right. Okay, remember, I'm on here every night from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. I'm available until 2 if you want to call and talk. If you want to hop back on the chat, I'll talk to you on the chat as well. I don't mind. I will stay up with you as long as I can. If I do not answer the phone, please leave me a message, okay? If you need to talk to someone right now, immediately, and you need more of some, targeted, pinpointed professional help, you can contact National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. All right. If you are in danger right now of hurting someone or hurting yourself, please call 911 so they can get you some help. All right. That's all I got. I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I am going to end early, a few minutes early, unless anybody has something. I'll stay on for just a little bit to see if anybody has something to say. Did I get any questions yesterday? Since we have a little time. I don't think I got any questions yesterday. But anyway, Live Life is dedicated to those who are on the fence about suicide, right? And those who have attempted to commit suicide and you're still with us. I just want to say that I love you, right? I care about you, and I want you to stay here. I want you to live your life, right? I want you to experience life. I want you to learn all that you can this life, right? So when you do, you may not have to come back when you transition, okay? But that's a whole nother video for another time. Thanks a lot, guys. And live life no matter what. Live life no matter what. All right? Y'all take it easy. Try not to do too much. Once again, I love you. Peace.